Yeah, all right, what's going on? What's going on? So basically, what I'm about to do is break down how I make my lineups every night. Uh, Simple. It's easy, man, and should be scoring at least close to 330, anywhere from 330 to 400 points every night. If you just follow this method, well, first thing you want to do, you want to choose your slate. So a lot of people go directly to the main slate. I don't. I don't touch the main slate. I go to Express. So it's called Express for a reason. So I was gonna be like 2 or 3 games in Express. Basically, what that means is these gonna be the fast-paced games. So you always wanna go see what teams or what players playing in the fast-paced games. So you hit Express, right? Click on the point guard. So it's basically like a miniature version of the main slate. They just break it down into 2 games. So basically what you want to do is you want to go through and see what point guards make sense in the Express. So you got Milwaukee, Toronto, OKC, Chicago, and you got Kyle Lowry going up against Milwaukee. You got Chris Paul going up against the Bulls, Bledsoe going up against Toronto, Zadaransky going up against OKC, and Kobe White. So right now it look like the only 5 point guards that make sense are those top 5. It's Chris Dunn out, Shaq Harrison is trash, and buddy from the other dude from the Bulls, Arcanado, however the fuck you pronounce his name, trash too. But you still get the minutes. So you play, this last 3 games, 28 minutes, 33 minutes, 21 minutes. And he starts. So it's Express. You gotta think about it. It's not the main, it's just Express. You can also find like sleepers in the Express that you probably wouldn't pay attention to if you was doing your main lineup. So what I would do is, for your Express, you always want to start out with, if you see something like the 7:30 games first, and then you got 8 o'clock games to follow that, you always want to get you like 6 or 7 dudes from the 7:30 game. So you want to stack that first game, and then you're gonna have like 2 to 3 players max to finish you off in that last game. This is just for Express now. So you'll basically grab a bunch of 7:30 dudes. The main guys from 7:30 though. You don't want to pick the bums from 7:30, and you want to get a lot of starters. Get you a bunch of starters in there, guys gonna put up the points, and then you roll from there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put together a little mock lineup. So I like Eric Bledsoe, the 7:30 guy. And I'm gonna go to the shooting guard. I'm gonna get Middleton in there, even though I know they just played yesterday. It's gonna be like a playoff game, and it's supposed to be a lot of points scored in that game. So even though Toronto at home, and I think Toronto gonna win, Milwaukee still got a hoop. So I got Bledsoe, Middleton in there, 7:30 dude, 7:30 players. Then I'm gonna go to the small forward. I'm gonna get Siakam in there, 7:30. The African, and Giannis African, Anunoby African. So I know they gonna hoop. Ibaka, another African, but I'm gonna go with my first 8 o'clock person, and that's gonna be Thaddeus Young. Right. Then my center. Now you look here. This is what I'm talking about when I say this why Express. This is why you always go to Express and after hours and late night first, so you can break it down into smaller groups. If you go to the main, you'll see it's a bunch of centers up there, and then you want to go through each center and like, oh, this guy gonna do this. So you don't have to do that when you go to Express. You automatically know only center that makes sense in this bitch is Steven Adams. He's 6,500. You got Brook Lopez's game time decision. If he play, then he'll be the other center that makes sense. But you don't have to look at fucking Falacio. You don't have to look at Robin Lopez, because you know that if Brook Lopez play, Robin Lopez not gonna get the minutes. But if Brook Lopez don't play, then Robin Lopez and Steven Adams are the only two centers that make sense. You're not touching Falacio, and even if Wendell Carter Jr. come back, which I don't think he is, you're not touching him. So he don't make sense. So you automatically plug Steven Adams in as your 8 o'clock center. Now, usually what you want to do is you want to start off with a center at 7:30. Well, that first game, you want that center to start you off. But in this case, Brook Lopez injured, Marcus All injured, and then all you got is Robin down. So until we can find out some news on Brook Lopez, you plug Steven Adams in there. Now you go back. Is there any 7:30 power fours that look good on here? You got Boucher, who just put up like 30 the other day. But Boucher that was a blowout. Toronto Blue, whoever that was, I think it was Indiana. So he got in and got them 30 minutes. Not going to do that against Milwaukee. And you got Rondé Hollis-Jefferson down there, play at 7:30. Not going to get any minutes. So none of those guys make sense at 7:30. So you automatically know that at your power forward position, only person who makes sense is Ibaka. Thaddeus Young. Possibly Nerlens Noel, but he at 8 o'clock. So you got to get another 7:30 dude in there. You drop Ibaka and Thaddeus Young in there, right? Now you go back to those other positions. So now you go back to those other positions and you figure out what other like 7:30 players that you want to plug in there. Now, mind you got 1, 2, 8 o'clock dudes already. Remember when I told you want 2 to 3 max finishing you off, but you want the guys who are going to put up points at 8 o'clock finish. You don't want to put in those 8 o'clock guys who ain't going to do nothing for you. You want niggas who's going to give you points. So at the small forward position, who we got? We got Giannis up there. Just played yesterday and fouled out. Like I said, it's going to be a playoff game. So you know he going to hoop, but you can't fit him in this lineup with everybody you got. So what you always want to do in these express lineups, if it's a stud playing like Giannis or LeBron, AD, James Harden, you always want to do one lineup without them. Do one lineup without them, and then you do your other lineup with them. You only really need 2 lineups max if you go by what I'm going by, and you're gonna see points guaranteed. In this lineup, I'm not gonna put Giannis in there. I'm gonna go with Anunoby, another 7:30 player. He start. He African. I'm going up against more Africans and Giannis. And usually them African niggas be hooping when they play each other. All right. The shooting guard position. Now, here's where it gets stupid at. Shooting guard position, you got some value down there in DiVincenzo and Dort and Connaughton, little garbage niggas like that. It's hard to put them in there when you got Shai Gilgeous up there and Zach LaVine and even Van Fleet. He ain't been hooping like that, but he play at 7:30. But since I need another 8 o'clock dude, I don't need another 8 o'clock guy, but I'm going to put another 8 o'clock guy in there. I actually might put 2 8 o'clock guys. I'm going to go with Shai Gilgeous. And then for my last position, I'm going to go with Kyle Lowry, right? So check it out. If you look at this lineup, I got probably kind of blurry, but 1 7:30, 2 7:30, 3 7:30, 4 7:30, 5 7:30, 6 guys from the 7:30. And I got Shai Gilgeous, Thaddeus Young, and Steven Adams for that 8 o'clock. Now, I got some salary remaining. I got $900 remaining, but the way FanDuel fucking do this shit, the math is like ridiculous. Like, you're not going to be able to juice nobody up. I got the top 2 power forwards already. Anobi, if you try to juice Anobi up, you'll see. Oh, hold on, my fault. You'll see you can't get Gallinari in there. You definitely can't get Giannis in there if you try to juice Siakam up. It's not happening. Shai Gilgeous, you're not getting Zach LaVine in there if you try to juice him up. And now it's like at the point guard position. Now it's like usually in Express, if you at the top, if you like the top point guard, top shooting guard, small forward, power forward, or center, sometimes those top players in Express don't do shit. They don't do a goddamn thing. They'll like come out there and fuck your whole lineup. So that's why like in these Express lineups, you always want a player that shouldn't be in that motherfucker. Like you're looking at them winning Express lineups, like who the fuck is this and why is he in there? So, this lineup right here, somebody more than likely gonna have this lineup. I got more than likely, even with that $900 remaining, you don't need to spend the whole $60,000 in Express and after hours. But sometimes, it's good to try to maximize the whole 60. But in this case, I'm not. I'm gonna leave it just like that. Now, look at this lineup. Not a bad lineup if you look at it. Look at the averages. Eric Bledsoe averaged 31. Kyle Lowry averaged 38. Middleton averaged 35. Shai Gilgeous averaged 35. Siakam averaged 40. Anunoby averaged 23. Thaddeus Young averaged 21. Ibaka averaged 29. And Steven Adams averaged 30. So if you look at that lineup, you automatically know this lineup going to put up 330. Anywhere, it's going to automatically put up 300. You ain't got to worry about that. It's going to be 300 without question. Can it be better? Of course I can make it better. But if we're going by the rules that I want y'all to follow, this is how you want your lineups to look and express. You want to start off early and you want to have 3 or 4 dudes to finish you off late. In this case, I only got 3 guys to finish me off, which is cool. It's not bad. I got 3 main guys. I got Steven Adams, who make only center that makes sense. I got Thad Young. They have no bigs over in Chicago. He's been hooping lately. So, look at his last numbers. His last 4 games. Or his last 3 games. 40, 38, and 48. So, you already know what you're going to expect out of him. Going up against OKC. It ain't like OKC great. And then I got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who back to his normal self. He was hooping terribly for a couple of games, but now he's back to his normal self. 40, 37 in his last 2. They going against the garbage-ass Bulls. I love it. So I got 3 of the main guys from the second set of games to finish me off. So what I do after this is I'll save this lineup, I'll submit it, and then I'll take this lineup and I'll plug it into the main. I'll show you how I do that later, but I would do this for Express 1. If it's an Express 2, I do it for late night and I do it for after hours. The same exact thing. So if you got late night and you got the 9:30 games, stack the 9:30 games and then get you 3 or 4 dudes from the 10 o'clock game. If you got the after hours, stack the 10 o'clock game and get you 3 or 4 dudes from the 10:30 game. But what it does is it breaks it down and shows you in groups like who's gonna do what. So like I said earlier, Express is called Express for a reason. It's the fast-paced game. This Milwaukee-Toronto game will be fast-paced. That OKC-Chicago game will be fast-paced. That's why it's called Express. You know it's gonna be a decent amount of points scored in that game. And if you just look at this lineup, you can play this lineup in your main and still score 300 and something points. You don't got no early games going, or you don't got no late night exposure. But if this lineup put up close to 380, 400 points, you don't need that shit. Some nights you don't need it. But in this case, you know what I'm saying? I will go and edit this, and I'm going to show y'all what I do after this. So let's just submit this. Well, I ain't got enough money in there yet, but I have to put some more cash in there. But let me just save. screenshot of it. And I'll be back with the second video.